Hi, this is Mashnu, and I would like to show you this fragment from a game that was played in 2013, so last year, during the US Chess Championships in round 7 by the players Gata Kamsky with white against Alejandro Ramirez with black. And there is a huge difference in rating between these two players. Kamsky had at that time 27-41 and Ramirez 25-51, so there is almost 200 points different, 190 points. In this position the material is equal, but white has some nice things here. One of them is this very beautiful placed bishop that is looking at f7. His rook on f1 is a bit passive at the moment, but what white wants to do after he solves, of course, this problem here, is to open the f-file. If he opens the f-file, he will have very much pressure against f7. So what happened here is that white took the pawn on a6 and black took the pawn on c2, so the material stays the same, and now white played f4 to open this f-file. Now Ramirez took this pawn, he played e takes f4, and Gata Kamsky took with the rook. So he achieved what he wanted, and that is this attack against f7. But we must not underestimate that black could double up rooks on the second rank. Right now, of course, it would be a mistake to try to double up these rooks, because if we play now this move that was not played in the game, then a rook takes f7 is very strong. It's actually winning, because we don't have time to take here on g2 and then threaten mate by returning with the rook and threaten mate on the back rank, or giving a perpetual check there, because here well, the threat is clear. Move this rook away with check, and we cannot go to h8 because of rook f8 checkmate. So this is not the way to play it. So in this position, what Alejandro Ramirez did was he played the move g5, attacking the rook. Oh, let me show you just one more thing before we continue. That is that this pawn on f7 it's not possible to defend it, because bishop to e8 would not be sufficient. If we play this, then white can take on f7 still with bishop. Bishop takes f7. Boom. If bishop takes bishop, then rook a8 check and checkmate. In the next move, or well, next, you can place anything in between, but it will be taken, so it's checkmate then. So that means that defending this f7 pawn is not really working, so that's why he played here g5. Now it looks as if this is going to be a very easy win for white, because he can take on f7. But there is more happening here than we can see superficially. Gata Kamsky took here bishop takes f7 check, because taking with the rook would be a mistake. If rook takes f7, what would black do? What do you think? Well, perhaps you saw it immediately, perhaps you need to think about it. It's removing the defender of the rook, so rook takes d5. So if the rook is taken, then king takes f7. Still, white has here a way to draw the game with rook a to f6, by the way, with the idea of giving a perpetual check here on the back rank. And well, that's another line that I'm not going to show you further. What I want to show you is what happened in the game. Bishop takes f7 check. The king went to g7, and here Kamsky decided to defend his back rank by playing rook to f1. Well, there is no really another active place for the rook right now, so rook to f1 is the move to make. And right now I would like to ask you to pause the video and see if you can find some beautiful move for black. Alright, I'm going to show you what happened here. Ramirez played a wonderful move that surprised Kamsky completely. What black wants to do is to double up the rooks on the second rank, but right now playing rook to b2 is not enough, because then, for example, bishop to h5 could follow, and then the rook can enter on f7, and white has the initiative and has a strong attack. So instead of doubling up the rooks right now, he prepared it by clearing the second rank first. He played bishop to h3, offering this bishop, telling Kamsky, if you want to have it, just take it. And let's have a look what would have happened if white would have taken this bishop. It's a nice line. Then rook b to b2, and there is no way for white to escape to this perpetual. Even if he plays something like rook to a2, threatening to remove this bishop, then still there is, well, no, I'm sorry, I'm talking nonsense. Then there is a checkmate here. Whoa. What white should do is move this rook away from here, so it doesn't get mated. So moving, give it a bit more space to the king. So then this is a perpetual check. It's not a checkmate, but a perpetual check, like this. That's the idea. Okay, so let's return. I'm a bit tired, that's why I make this type of mistakes. But anyway, that could happen if the bishop is taken. In the game, Kamsky didn't take the bishop, but he played, let's see, a rook to a7 immediately, threatening to remove his bishop, but of course allowing to black to take on g2. And this is what happened. Bishop takes g2 check, king to g1, bishop takes f1, and now comes the part of the tactical idea of Kamsky. He moved the bishop from f7 to b3 check with the rook, and the rook on c2 is going to fall. So now king to g6 was played, bishop takes rook, and a material equality was reached now. And a few moves later they agreed to draw. Rook to b2 was played here, check, king f7, one more check, and now they shook hands, and the game ended in a draw this way. I find this idea, this bishop h3 move is really so beautiful. Here, bishop h3. I believe there is no way of escaping to an equal endgame, to a drawish endgame now. So somewhere before this, white must have made a mistake, and after g5, perhaps he shouldn't have taken on f7. Perhaps he should have stayed with this threat without taking right now. Perhaps rook f to f6 is a possible line that still you have then pressure against f7. You threaten now to take on f7, and the rook is not longer attacked. Bishop h3 doesn't work now, because if bishop h3 now, then there is a check on the back rank. and if king g7, rook takes f7, so black must place something in between here on c8, so either bishop to c8 or rook to c8, but in both cases it's not enough, because the whole idea of sacrificing that bishop doesn't work any longer. So here now that this can simply be taken here, and if the rook takes on a8, there is bishop takes a8. So that means that here after rook f4 to f6 there is no bishop h3 tactics, and it's not very clear whether this is whether it's possible to hold this with black. Bishop e6 is almost the only way to defend against this threat of taking on f7, but then white can simply take here, right, and win this pawn, and then white is a pawn up. Well, that's not really very clear. This is a very difficult endgame. There is a check here on b1 now, king h2, rook b to b2, threatening to take on g2, so not clear at all, yeah, g2 is going to fall. There is nothing to try here. So okay, well, this is well, if you like to analyze this type of positions, then I would say this is the moment to do it. Here try to find something for white. Perhaps rook a8 check. Let me just go on with another line. Rook to a8 check. We must place something in between, because otherwise if king g7 again, rook takes f7 check, so rook to c8 for example, and then white can trade rooks, and he has of course these connected mass pawns later, so this perhaps is a nice advantage. Now of course you can take also on f7 with check. And what if the bishop is placed in between on c8 instead of the rook? Because this looks absolutely better for white, I think. If the king moves, then go back, and then you have these two nice connected pass pawns. But what happens if after rook to here, let me see, yeah, here after, what did I leave? After rook to a8 check, now not rook to c8 but bishop to c8, what happens then? There is no simplification of the position, so this rook must do something now, this rook on f4. I think rook f6 or rook f1. Is there any difference? Or perhaps rook f1 is a bit safer. And well, the position stays equal materially, but white has this attack against f7 still. And what can black do? His bishop is pinned, his rook on c2 must stay defending this bishop, so this looks very nice for white. There is no rook to b7 because the bishop is guarding b7, so it looks like this is rook a8 was the move that that Kamsky should have played. This game has been analyzed on the internet, but I haven't seen this line. Interesting. Well, I'll stop talking, because of course you can analyze yourself this type of positions. Just copy them and to your computer, or place the pieces on a wooden chessboard, chess set, and try to find what could happen here. Alright, I'll just stop now. I'm getting tired, and I wish you all a great evening, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Goodbye.